Welcome visitors and returnees and subscribers to Staying in the Light. We make the headlines here. You hear it here first. Most of the time, you will hear it here first before you hear it anywhere else. So it doesn't mean that I'm very popular or getting a lot of views. It just means that the vibration is going out. Because if I receive this vibration, the what's going on, I'm not the only one. You have to realize since this year, 2025, there has been our ancestors sending us messages. Some call it Nebaru. But these ships been up there a long time. I go out every morning, 3 in the morning. I communicate with them. They communicate with me, rather. So this information not to be taken lightly. We can say it's divine source. Oh, it's such a great day to be alive, to see what's happening today. Today we're going to talk about the friends of the so-called black community. A lot of black people, so-called, I always got to say so-called because that's not who you are. Just like whites, that's not who you are, so-called. Nobody want to call you by your real identity. So y'all need to stop calling yourself black. So for the purpose of understanding who I'm speaking of, and the only term you know to identify yourself is black, that's why I say black, because that's the term you use. That's when you know who I'm speaking of. If I use any other term, you say, who he's talking about? Okay, black people. Black people sold you out. Black people sold you out. I remember very clearly pre-civil rights era. We had everything we needed in our neighborhood. Everything. Then these boule, Masons, black elites says, let's sell them out. Let's create a movement and get paid for it. These was the elite blacks. They called it the civil rights movement. And now you're seeing the results of it 60 some years later. Total destruction of the community. Totally. Now I'm going to show you here it wasn't the white people who sold you out. The white people tried to warn you. Yeah, you had some whites who were selling you out, but mostly, I'm going to tell you the ones who's warning us. So these are your friends. Go back and do some research on these people. They were trying to save you, save your community, black people. They're trying to save your community way back then. But the black elites painted them as your enemy. They were not your enemy. They were your friends. They were segregationists telling you, don't integrate. That's going to be disaster for everybody. Who are some of these heroes? They're heroes for you black people, whether you realize it or not. George Wallace, governor of Alabama. Bill Connor, Birmingham Public Safety Commissioner. I remember these people. Lester Maddox, governor of Georgia. You see, these is governors. These not just anybody. Ross Barnett, governor of Mississippi. Oral Faubus, governor of, where was he? Governor of Arkansas. Yeah, Faubus. Senator Strom Thurmond. Yeah, he was the main filibuster against this Civil Rights Act. Rest in power, Storm. Jesse Helms, U.S. Senator from North Carolina, he also opposed civil rights legislation. And you got to give hats off to the White Citizen Council. So there's nothing with, if you want to promote white supremacy, then what do we have to promote? Black supremacy. So what's wrong with that? See, this is part of this delusion y'all in. Delusion. Or you can say spell. You've been a spell. I'm black and I'm proud. I'm a devil, I'm evil, I'm proud. The words you spell, you don't know what they mean. You know the movie Get Out? They keep coming to my mind. Yeah, this movie Get Out by this Kenya played a black man. Forget his name. Get out of where? And the author, I mean who was the producer of this movie? What's his name? Anyway, he put a follow up to let you know what he was trying to tell you. Get out of us. Get out of the U.S. Yeah, it's about that time, people. I'm putting the pieces of the puzzle together. What's going on? I don't know if I do it here because I don't want to make it too long. But they got something called the Great Replacement Theory. And this is a lot of fear whites have because they feel being replaced by uh, immigrants. That's what was behind President Trump's speech about genocide of the farmers. We know farmers wouldn't be in genocide. He was alluding to the Great Replacement Theory, where white people are being replaced by immigrants. They feel annihilation because their birth rate is very low. And black and brown people multiply like bunnies. Well, excuse the allegory. So, yeah, do some research on it. We're going to talk about this Great Replacement Theory later. But I want to give honors to these men back in the 60s era. Now, I didn't participate in the civil rights movement because I'm with the Nation of Islam. You know, we was against segregation as well. All these other black people selling y'all is this is what you got. This is what you have 60 years later. No neighborhood. Shoot you on the street when they feel like it. Prisoner is a business to house young black men. Yeah, all this from the civil rights movement. Trying to force yourself into other people accepting you. What people do that? What people force their acceptance on other people? I'll wait. Now you got some modern people who have these. I won't say they're segregationists, but they have racially explicit views, which is not a bad thing. See, y'all have to get out of this spell casting. Everybody should have think their race is superior. What's wrong with that? You so indebted and you so inferior that you can't stand somebody saying their race is superior. Yes, to them it should be if they're God fearing. They're in that race, it should be a superior race for them. Same thing for you. If you God fearing, you in a certain race. These terms I just hate these terms because that term race is racist. Now God didn't create all people to live together. Read the Bible. They're going against nature. I sound like this brother Armstrong back in the day. He was the only one speaking this type of language, and they hated Brother Armstrong. He was the only one talking sense. Yeah, these modern people are racially excluded. There's nothing wrong with that. Richard Spencer, who's another one? David Duke, Steve Bannon, Tucker Carlson, Stephanie Miller. Yes, President Trump, uh, DeSantis, and Nick Fuentes. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with white nationalism. There's nothing wrong with black nationalism. Hey, be with your own kind. That's the way it was supposed to be. Y'all in a spell casting. Y'all in a illusion. I mean, I didn't see it this clear back then, but it's so clear now. If you can't see you've been put in a trick bag, black people, and you still call yourself black because you don't want to find out who you are. Slave master called me black. I'm gonna keep calling myself black too. What's wrong with you? I'm proud of being black. I'm proud of being a slave. Sad, sad, sad. All right, we're gonna leave it short right here, and we'll see you next time. I dare y'all to comment. I dare you.